After one more taste of frost, we've got a warmer pattern taking shape, and I'm tracking it up next.
Police in Lancaster are increasing patrols around schools after a mother reported two men trying to pick up her son.
And a judge decides whether attorney Eric Kahn can get out of jail while he waits for his trial on charges of defrauding the federal government. The decision now at 4.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Palumbo. The rain is gone for now and cooler air is back. Here's a live look at one of our drop cams where it is a sunny afternoon in Lexington. Temperatures are in the mid-50s and we're in for another cold night. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. Chris, it is much cooler than yesterday.
Yeah, it really is, but you know what? It looks awfully nice out there. You step outside, and yeah, the chilly air kind of hits you a little bit. Certainly, though, a far cry from all the real cold that we had last week into this past weekend. You were looking at downtown Lexington. How about the Hamburg Pavilion area? Hard-pressed to find a cloud in the sky. 54 degrees as of now. Winds aren't gusting up at all across the region, so that's a rarity so far this spring. 54 in Lexington, that's a popular number with Richmond, Danville, Mount Sterling, and Moorhead. 55 for the folks into Frankfort. Now, if you're comparing where we are now to the same point yesterday, it's 15 degrees colder in Lexington, 18 degrees colder into Moorhead. Defender Radar Network, it is calm, it is quiet. You're going to hear me say that a lot over the next several days. Now, if you're out this evening, it's a quick drop in your thermometer. By 11 o'clock, temperatures already into the upper 30s with a little frost coming up later tonight. Spring, though, finally begins to show up. I am tracking a much warmer than normal pattern. We go from way below normal, Jennifer, to way above normal. Wait until you see that weekend forecast when I come back in 15 minutes.
2 University of Kentucky students are charged with robbery in connection with a weekend homicide near UK's campus. Lexington police arrested 19-year-old Jaden Whalen and 18-year-old Nicholas Coriassi yesterday and charged them with first-degree robbery. They've also obtained an arrest warrant for 19-year-old Alex Farrell, charging him with first-degree robbery. All 3 are UK freshmen. Police say they came up with a plan to rob another man. Investigators say the 3, along with James Gordon, arranged to meet an acquaintance at the Woodland Studio Apartments early Saturday morning. When they got there, police say the suspects showed a weapon and tried to rob their acquaintance, who then pulled out a gun and shot Gordon and Coriassi. Gordon died from his injuries. The shooter is claiming self-defense and has cooperated with Lexington police. He has not been charged. You'll hear from police on WKYT News at 5. With budget talks still going on in Frankfort, a special session of the legislature may need to be called to finish the budget. But Governor Matt Bevin says that's not going to happen. The current legislative session must end by midnight Friday. If a budget isn't reached by then, there will be no opportunity to get the bill passed before the state goes into partial governmental shutdown, unless there's a special session. Earlier today, Governor Matt Bevin said he expects a budget will be passed, but if one isn't, he says he has no plans to call a special session.
I will not call a special session. I will not reward the inability to do the job that people were sent here for by paying them extra money. The people have already been paying them to do this job. The job can get done. I believe the job will get done because the job should get done.
According to the Legislative Research Commission, there is not a provision that requires the governor to call a special session if a budget is not passed. We'll have the latest from Frankfort on WKYT News at 5. Lancaster police say 2 men tried to lure a 13-year-old boy into a van while he was walking home from school yesterday afternoon. The boy says something his mother taught him helped scare off the men. WKYT's Sean Moody talked to the boy, and he continues our top stories at 4.
That 13-year-old boy said he was walking here along this stretch of Maple Street when those 2 men in that van pulled up to them. He says he didn't know what they wanted, but he knew he wasn't supposed to go with them. Caleb Johnson said he had just left Garrett Middle School around 3:15 yesterday afternoon. As he was walking along East Maple Street, he said a white utility-style van pulled up, and one of the 2 men inside told him his dad wanted them to pick him up. Caleb said he knew something wasn't right and remembered something his mom had told him.
She told us like a long time ago to stay away from the van and just stay away from anybody who tells you to, if you need a ride or anything like that, because she said you can never trust people. And she made us a password and everything for us to use in case that happened.
Caleb said he asked the man for that password that he and his parents know. That's when he said those two men sped off. Lancaster police said the password idea is something every parent should talk about with their children. Lancaster police have said they will step up patrols around schools in the area. In Lancaster, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Police say the vehicle was a white utility-style van with a dent on the rear right side and a bent antenna with electrical tape on the passenger window. They say they've received some tips, but so far, no concrete leads. Investigators are trying to figure out what sparked an overnight fire that damaged 3 businesses in Moorhead. The fire started around 2 this morning at a cell phone and tobacco store on West Main Street. The flames then spread to a nearby tanning business and also damaged a heating and air system store. An employee at the tanning salon says she's trying to figure out what to do now.
Knowing next week I don't have a paycheck coming is kind of scary, honestly. There's rent and then car payment, insurance, phone bill, just the works, and we're gonna find something and we'll all be fine, I'm sure, but it's just a matter of time, I guess.
Investigators say the 3 buildings had small separations in the walls between them and no fire protection systems, sprinkler systems, or alarms in any of the buildings. No one was injured. We'll have the latest from Rowan County on WKYT News at 5:30. A fire seriously damaged a home in a Lexington neighborhood. Firefighters were called to the home on Deer Crossing Way off Todd's Road about 11:15 this morning. A neighbor says a passerby saw the garage on fire. Firefighters say the home has significant damage to both floors, and the family who lives there will not be able to stay there tonight. The Red Cross has been called in to help them. Firefighters say no one was injured. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick is in the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. 2 more suspects have been charged in connection with last month's terrorist bombings in Belgium, just as one of the victims from Kentucky is about to be remembered in Washington, D.C. Authorities say the 2 men were involved in renting a Brussels apartment that served as a hideout for the bomber who attacked the Brussels subway and a suspected accomplice. 16 people died in the subway attack on March 22nd. Another 16 people, including Lexington native Stephanie Schultz and her husband Justin, were killed when 2 bombs went off at the Brussels airport. Tonight, Kentucky Congressman Andy Barr will lead a moment of silence on the House floor in honor of the Schultz. We'll have a preview ahead on WKYT News at 4:30. Eric Kahn is accused of conspiring to defraud the government of $600 million in questionable federal disability payments. This afternoon, a federal judge decided Kahn can get out of jail before his trial and set bond at $1.25 million with some conditions. Kahn is using his $1.5 million home in Pikeville to secure that bond. Prosecutors have argued they believe Kahn is a flight risk. We'll have more details on the hearing ahead on WKYT News at 5. And today, a ceremonial signing taking place for a bill that would help children battling a serious condition. Noah Greenhill suffers from a condition that attacks his esophagus, making it hard for him to eat most foods. Noah's had to take formula 4 times a day through a feeding tube, costing his family $40 a day. That has now changed. Noah's bill was recently signed into law. It extends health insurance to include the formula that Noah needs to take. We'll have more on how it will help all children who are in Noah's situation. Jennifer, that's a look at some of the news in progress. Back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Now to a story making headlines across the nation at 4. For the past few days, Donald Trump has been complaining about the delegate system, telling his supporters the process is rigged. But nearly a month after ballots were cast in Missouri's Republican primary, today's official results show Donald Trump has won 12 more delegates from the Show Me state. Diane Gallagher has the latest on the race for the White House.
Winning 12 more delegates from Missouri today shines a bright spotlight on what's been a touchy subject for Trump, who spent the past couple days bashing the GOP nominating process.
We're supposed to be, you vote, and the vote means something.
Trump's rage against the machine this time started after Colorado Republicans held a state convention as opposed to a primary. Ted Cruz, far more prepared for that situation, came out with all 34 delegates there.
The system, folks, is rigged. It's a rigged, disgusting, dirty system.
Cruz has poked fun at Trump's anger.
When people vote against him, they're stealing the election. It's a really odd notion.
And while Trump is tweeting videos like this of a Colorado man burning his voter registration card,
Goodbye, GOP.
Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus sent out a tweet saying the rules haven't changed.
You know, it's a bizarre process.
John Kasich, who openly cheers on the idea of a contested convention, has also spoke out on Cruz's behind-the-scenes delegate strategy.
In Michigan, the Cruz campaign tried to strong-arm and bully people, and they lost everything. And we did extremely well.
And it's not just the Republican race that has Trump in a tizzy.
Bernie Sanders wins, and he wins, and he wins, and then these people are saying he can't win because the system is rigged.
Voters in New York weigh in 1 week from today. In Washington, Diane Gallagher.
Gas stations are just about everywhere, but if you drive an electric car, it's not so easy to find a place to fill up. That tops today's WKYT MoneyWatch. That's expected to change in the Bluegrass State. The Kentucky Public Service Commission has given the green light for Kentucky Utilities and Louisville Gas and Electric to install up to 20 electric vehicle charging stations around the state. KU says the stations will use digital display screens and quick pay options. Right now, they're looking at sites for the 20 new stations. More than 35,000 Verizon workers could go on strike starting tomorrow. The employees want Verizon to approve a new contract that would increase pay and limit outsourcing. Verizon says it still needs to negotiate health care costs, which have gone up. Thousands of Amazon customers are calling on the CEO to dump Trump. More than 13,000 of them have signed a petition asking the online retailer to stop selling menswear from the Donald J. Trump collection. The petition was created by the women's rights group Ultraviolet. Dozens of companies have distanced themselves from Donald Trump since he declared his presidential candidacy, including Macy's, which stopped selling his clothing line. Tesla is voluntarily recalling almost 3,000 Model X SUVs made before March 26th. The automaker's own tests showed third-row seats could fold forward in a crash. Tesla says customers will be notified when repair parts are available, adding they've received no complaints of injuries. Ticketmaster will start selling tickets for concerts, games, and other events on Facebook. Starting later this month, users can click on the new Buy Tickets link. Facebook will take a cut for each ticket sold, but Ticketmaster says convenience fees will remain the same. You may want to dig through your change purse or your pockets. A new quarter featuring Cumberland Gap National Historical Park is now in circulation. It's the latest quarter released in the U.S. Mint's ongoing America the Beautiful Quarters program. Daniel Boone and other explorers crossed through the Cumberland Gap to reach Kentucky and points west in the 1700s. Park leaders hope the new quarter sparks nationwide interest in Cumberland Gap. It's time for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Research Fine Foods is recalling containers of refrigerated salads because of possible listeria contamination. 19 products are being recalled. They were also sold under different names at stores including Walmart and Safeway. An onion supplier notified the company that listeria bacteria may be present in one lot of onions. The affected products have use-by dates from April 27th to May 16th of this year. You can find a complete list of the recalled salads on WKYT.com. An aspirin a day may help many men and women between the ages of 50 and 69 who are prone to cardiovascular problems. A national task force is urging potential heart patients without bleeding risks to consider taking a low-dose aspirin every day. They say it could prevent heart attacks, strokes, and colorectal cancer. Planning a vacation can be exciting, but after putting all the things you need in your suitcase, it can get weighed down and tough to close. Then when you get home, you open your luggage and find you probably haven't used most of what you took. So to make life easier, Mary Maloney has a list of what not to bring on your next big trip.
Much of what you pack in suitcases you don't need. Skip the books and magazines. It weighs down your bag. Instead, bring your iPad or Kindle. Don't have one? Maybe it's time to invest in slim, lightweight electronics. But you don't need to bring your entire home office with you on vacation. It will be distracting. Instead, limit yourself to 2 devices. Keep your expensive accessories like jewelry at home. You could lose something or, at worst, perhaps have it stolen. When thinking about your wardrobe, consider Do you need a different outfit every day? This is the quickest way to run out of room in your luggage. The folks at smartertravel.com suggest that if it's a short trip, bring just 3 tops and 3 bottoms that are practical, comfortable, and can be mixed and matched. You can always do a load of laundry on the road or even hand wash some items. And instead of bringing an entire bag of toiletries, bank on getting free stuff from the hotel, like shampoo, conditioner, soap, and lotion. Many hotels also supply toothbrushes, razors, mouthwash, and other items. But you have to call the front desk and ask. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.